Welcome to Dr. Jester Talks, and I'm gonna talk about this. From Gateway Pundit. I don't like much of their reporting, except with Cassandra Fairbanks, because I seem to trust her, and I saw her writing style and her articles, and they seem to be okay. But overall, I try to avoid a lot of Gateway Pundit articles, but this one at least we can go forward and discuss it even further. Well, for chance, sleuths catch China faking simulated missile test clips from Transformers and Hurt Locker. The Chinese military released a video of the Chinese regime testing the missile against a US base over the weekend. Chinese military video appears to show simulated attacks on US airbase on Guam, and the video posted on Saturday is still posted at the regime outlet Global Times. Yes, a few of the writers in the Global Times peddles a lot of Chinese propaganda, even on Twitter. The Chinese military video simulated US base occur. For chance to discover the Chinese regime posted the clips from different Hollywood movies on the video release. We can see here on the images. I'm gonna go and discuss this a bit further, because this is absolutely very common to happen on despotic countries. This is absolutely very common in those countries. You can see this happening on every single despotic country that does this. For instance, Russia, Iran, North Korea. Those countries keep on making those videos and movies and to try and peddle propaganda, and then when we catch that, it's kind of hilarious. For instance, Russia even used scenes of a mobile game to actually show how much they are fighting ISIS, when we know in reality they are not doing any of that, and even fact they had problems fighting ISIS. They are in there in Syria just to keep the government in power, nothing else. It was the US who actually fought and eliminated ISIS with the help of the other local militias in that place. Not Russia. Russia did diddly squat. In fact, they are the ones responsible of bombing hospitals. And Russia has also used images of Arma. Talking about that, I need to install Arma 3 and see if the M1 Tank Platoon mod works in there or is any good. Anyway, I digress. Another case is Iran using footages of other places, and North Korea. Let me get back in Iran. Iran has also managed, for instance, show the multiple missiles being launched, when in fact it's one or two, and they used Photoshop on other things to clone the missile and other things to show how much better they are. In fact, I'm gonna go on a tangent here and say, for instance, those countries also use prototypes or mock-ups to say that they are much advanced, or they are better, or things like that. For instance, Iran created a fighter jet that it's supposed to be stealth, and it was an utter fucking joke. In fact, it was such a joke that you can actually see that this thing would never ever fly. And the only flight footage of this little joke over here is from an air model or something like that, or a small little drone that people used to play when flying on those little airplane models. That's the only thing they have on footage. And you can see here that, for instance, the position of the engine here, it's not proper for a fighter. F313. I'm sorry. This is definitely... Oh, look. Even the cockpit is a joke. I mean, the plane is too small for a pilot. The stuff in here you get from those GPS stores that sell stores. For instance, here, the engine in itself, if the engine is like this as is in here and not installed, okay, fine. But if it is as is, it's gonna burn the entire structure of the airplane over here because of how hot it is. Look at the knees of the guy. This is what I'm saying. It's definitely a huge fucking joke. And And those despotic governments all keep doing exactly that. They do it because they know they can get away with it. And people will swallow it. I've discussed this with Russian bulls, with people who support Iran and things like that. You show them the evidence that these things don't quite actually work. And it's just a prop to get support from gullible idiots like them. It doesn't even face them. You show them, you force them to see the evidence, and they say, no, it's real. Here's a Hollywood of Chinese Air Force. Holy shit on a pickle. And they actually try to use it as... But that's the thing. It actually works. It works. People actually swallow things like this, and it works. Because they keep on doing it. And it's mostly for the domestic market. Sometimes it gets leaked or shared on the internet or things like that, maybe by a non-suspecting poor intern on those places, and they share it on the on Twitter or things like that, and the Western market picks up, and we laugh. But this is mostly for the internal market, for them to get bonus points, people to keep voting on those despotic governments and voter fraud and things like that. It's absolutely normal for those countries. I do wonder if Venezuela has done anything like this, considering how despotic the government is, and even Bolivia. That probably should warrant research on my part, but then again, I don't know if I care enough to actually waste hours searching for things like that, but there's probably somewhat easier to find. It's hilarious. It's hilarious what they do for these things. They do this because they know they don't have the capacity to even match what America has, or even the Europeans have. So they do this. They do this to show, I'm back to join you! Yeah! Well, it happened. Well, anyway, that's just a quick talk of how hilarious things like this are. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video. See you on my next video. Good night.